check the box, like I swear, this is the right, I am Michigan. I'm ready to do. Yeah. It's gonna be.
Oh, this one doesn't want to stay on. This one is not staying on.
That's it, that's all that is. Over there.
Oh, just touch it, it was moving.
There you go.
Before you touch it for too long.
I know, just, it was closer. I can't reach it past that $50 back. Chicken, you know, I never do that.
Here, so there. It's all yours, buddy.
Good evening. Before I call this meeting to order of the Brown County Planning Commission on August 26th, 2025, I request you turn all cell phones off. Do not talk in the audience because it's hard for hearing impaired people and other people to hear or listen on the YouTube with this. If you are going to speak, when you are invited up to speak, you need to walk up to the podium. You need to turn the mic, speak into the microphone, and you need to say your name first and then what we were talking about. And you will have a 3-minute limit on your opportunity to speak. And with that, roll call.
Carol Bowden,
Here.
Tim Allen,
Here.
Jane Gore,
Here.
Randy Jones, Sarah Hamas,
Here.
Andy Boyles,
Present.
Kyle Decker.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 22nd, 2025? Okay. Second?
I second it.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Sarah Hamas,
Yes.
Andy Boyles,
Yes.
Carol Bowden,
Yes.
Tim Allen,
Yes.
Jane Gore.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, we do not have any old business, and so we move on to the new business. Ms. Kayla?
Okay, this is Brown County Area Plan Commission staff report, replat, lot number 14 in Henderson Ridge subdivision, phase 1. Docket number 25-P-03 Hearing date, August 26, 2025. Request is a replat of lot 14 of Henderson Ridge Major Subdivision, Phase 1. Petitioner is Ken Kelp, property owners, Lipperth Living Trust, Ernest K. and Judy A. Lipperth. Location, the property is located at 6706 Justin's Ridge Road, Nashville, otherwise known as Henderson Ridge Subdivision, Lot 14 in Washington Township. The property is north of the intersection of Justin's Ridge Road and Erica Lane. Zoning and current land use. Presently, the lot consists of 5.090 acres, is zoned secondary residential R2, and is currently vacant. General findings. 1, according to the subdivision control ordinance, re-subdivision or replat means a change in the map of an approved or recorded subdivision plat if such change affects any street layout on such map or area reserved thereon for public use or any lot line. 2, the petitioner is requesting a replat of one lot in the previously approved major subdivision. 3, the plat clearly states that the new lot will not be buildable. 4, if approved, the western lot, which is lot 14-1A, will consist of 4.672 acres, and the eastern tract, lot 14-2B, will consist of 0.368 acres. 5, the applicant's family owns property to the north of the proposed new lot. The applicant wishes to build a home on the family property but cannot access the parcel from State Road 46 East and would like to use the new lot for access to the new home. 6, the Brown County Highway Department approved a driveway permit for the new lot. 7, both lots are located outside the special flood hazard area according to the flood insurance rate maps. Summary, the replat should not adversely impact developmental requirements in the same district and vicinity. The new plat appears to meet all requirements set forth by the Brown County Subdivision Control Ordinance. And here are some pictures of the site visit. The intersection of Justin Bridge and Erica Lane. That last one was looking to the west, this is to the east. Okay. So the white property line and then the little blue square next to it, this is the property that we're talking about. This is the Liver property. And if you see the red line up there, so that's State Road 46, that's all the Kelp property. And then I've highlighted this small new requested lot. And then a copy of the plat, which you all should have a bigger version of. And that is the end of the staff report.
Does anybody on the board have any questions right now?
When you say the non-buildable piece, is that because it's not big enough or because of topography? Like, is it not buildable just because it says on the piece of paper, not buildable? Or are there like other constraints?
It's much too small to be buildable.
Yeah, that's what.
Is the piece they're talking about breaking off the road or the roadbed that's there? When you look straight out from Erica, straight across the road, there's a chain across there.
That may be the driveway. The petitioner is here though. I'm not sure if they've already made that driveway. How about cars? 11 were sent and 9 were returned.
I'm not sure.
Any other questions? Petitioner is invited to come up to the podium and tell us your name and tell us the game.
Hi, everyone. I'm Canning Kelp. So to answer the question about the driveway that you saw with the chain across was on the 14A plot piece of property. There is not a current driveway on the piece of property that we're talking about. So
it's to the west of your
If you look
small
here,
parcel.
the chain's kind of here on this corner
Okay.
piece. So just, like to, request this replot to really give access to that piece of property, for my parents it's at the top of the hill. So there's no way to access that from 46 and have a accessible driveway. So to have access, for driveway and then also for utilities is the ask to build a home up there.
I guess.
I'm not sure I'm following.
Okay.
What the end goal is by breaking that piece off and replatting it. You're wanting to assign it as an easement?
To allow Ernest to be able to sell that piece, to me to be able to buy it for the driveway.
Gotcha.
So it's not an easement now, it's
The piece there that's denoted in the white.
The little white piece.
Okay, yeah, so it's just wide enough for a driveway.
So somebody would want to buy it to join to their property since,
So the big, blue property there, that's my parents' property.
right, but whoever would buy that would be an adjoining property owner or because.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a piece of property from my parents and I'm also, if this path is going to buy that white piece to be able to have the
I
driveway.
understand, but I mean, who would buy that piece?
He would.
Not
I would buy it.
the little piece,
Yeah, it's a little piece for the driveway, yes.
all right, gotcha.
Being that this is, per the original plat, there's a maintenance agreement for the road. Have you already spoke to the group?
I have not spoken about that. Okay. That piece of property actually comes off on the highway portion of the maintained road.
Yes, but the subdivision goes to the east, one more lot where the red line comes due south.
Yes.
And so there's a maintenance agreement for those lots in Henderson Ridge. Might just be with them to
Okay.
get access.
Thank you. Any other questions I could answer? Thank you. Appreciate the consideration.
Thank you.
So just to be clear.
Yeah.
Because I think there's still, you're wanting to build a house on top of the hill,
Yes.
up from
North from that.
north, south from your folks.
but north of the piece of property.
North
North of that white piece. Yes.
And you're just saying you don't want to come up the hill across the creek. You'd rather come in from the.
I can't even build a bridge in this creek there.
It's
It's very steep.
It's very steep.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak in favor of the petition?
Good evening. I'm Ernest Lippert. I'm the owner of the property there, and I'm in favor of him purchasing the property and fulfilling his dream of building a house over there. So he has my full support.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, is there anybody in opposition for this petition?
Hello, my name is Don Stewart. I'm one of the property owners in Henderson Ridge, and I have appeared before you folks before on a similar matter where the lot owners of lot 52, I believe, were selling wanted to sell a portion of their lot to another lot owner, 55, creating an additional lot in the subdivision. And I contested that, wanting to maintain the integrity of the 62 lots that we have in our subdivision. And the purchase of that lot was approved subject to the condition that the buyer would fold that into their existing lot. And so there would not be any new lots created, which I was totally fine with. So my objection is the ability of people to subdivide their lots in our neighborhood, which we all bought for. You see the scenery. I mean, we buy it for the woods. And so we object to that. The ability of any lot owner to come in and subdivide their lot to be able to put in more houses. Another consideration is I'm sure it's more expensive to access it from 46. And if there's access to that land, it's right on 46. So if they want to build a house on a piece of land that's on 46, even though it might be more expensive, I think it's incumbent upon them rather than cutting a very wide destruction of trees next to a couple of other lot owners and taking away from the enhancement of why we have our community. So I respectfully suggest that rather than allowing subdivision, a subdivided lot, which could continue by other lot owners, because the precedent that it would set, that it's okay to subdivide these lots, I just think it takes away the integrity of a subdivision, which was platted as a 62 lot subdivision, period, and story, back in the 1990s. So I respectfully request that you would decline this petition. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else in opposition? Step up, please.
My name is Joe Budd. I live in Henderson Ridge, also on Erica Lane. I second what Don has just said. I don't want to see a precedent set where people can start to make their, to bring in other houses for our lots. I have 6 acres and mine's not even one of the bigger lots. So we moved here from Indianapolis wanting big lots, and Henderson Ridge is a beautiful area. And I know this area well. It's right by our mailboxes. And I would like us to not be able to parcel off our platted lots. And I appreciate you hearing me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You don't have to state his name.
My name's Alex Weathers, and we own a lot we live in Henderson Ridge subdivision. And I would echo Don's comments and Joe's as well. I've nothing against Ken. I appreciate the fact that he wants to build a home and on his parents' property, and I think that's great. But my issue really lies with the fact that we're trying to divide a lot, and I don't think it's okay. I feel like the lots the size they are for a reason. And we moved here for that reason, and we just don't want to see that changed.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I'm Phil Ford. I'm the current president of the Henderson Ridge Road Committee. So not a homeowners association, but a group that's gathered together to try to help take care of the neighborhood. Again, in parroting what they've said, we love new owners to come into the neighborhood. But one of the things that's in our covenants and bylaws is that none of the lots would be less than 2 acres in size. And that's been something since its inception. And so I'm afraid that doing this will set a precedent that could override what the initial goal was for our area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Touches on something I was gonna ask was, obviously the subdivisions are formed with their own, whatever, when you guys record them initially. Do those covenants and bylaws come into this process here is following the countywide subdivision ordinance, but then can't those subdivision specific policies, don't they kind of then take the next steps of
They do take the
controlling?
next steps, yeah.
So what would that, I don't know if covenants and bylaws are different than what would, or, where does that stand with this subdivision in particular?
So the way that I understand it, we don't enforce covenants and restrictions. We just enforce the ordinance.
But then
So
what,
we're looking at just the ordinance part of it.
I guess then
Where
today,
staff is.
where would, and I can understand, there's, I don't know if those things get recorded or how that works, but then what's the
So
question to Dave, what's the mechanism then for any given subdivision to enforce those, require, whatever they've set for the lots in the.
Yeah, typically covenants will form a homeowners association that can enforce them or give each resident in the subdivision the authority to enforce the covenants.
And that would be civil,
Yes,
as far as I go.
But as a planning commission, you would say that's not something we should be taking into account, or? I can understand Kayla's distinction that it's not for them to enforce, but would that not be a factor for the board? For the commission or whatever?
typically if they meet the way the law reads, if they meet the concrete standards, in your subdivision control ordinance, they're entitled to approval. And I mean, there's a statute that says that the planning commissions can enforce covenants. But, I think, I'm not sure, I guess I believe that wouldn't apply in a situation where, all the standards of the ordinance had been met.
So I guess then to further like down that line of reasoning or whatever, then in this case, would you say that it meets those requirements, or how would we know whether this request met the, whatever the terminology you just used was like the baseline requirements of the ordinance?
Yes, the concrete standards. of the
Concrete
ordinance.
standards.
So if it meets the lot size, so those kind of standards, anything that might apply.
Yeah.
Driveway, lot size,
And
septic.
that's, I mean, does it?
Not for a buildable lot, no.
So then where's that distinction for?
That's my question, is they're not adding to, the number of lots in Henderson Ridge would be the same. They would,
The number
there
of
would-
buildable lots, but it's still a new lot. And you're still splitting one lot into two. You're just not building an extra house within the subdivision.
so that, do we have somebody, can we call someone back up?
Yes, who do you want to call back?
The gentleman that was the road committee chair, was
Wait,
that? Yeah.
wait till he gets up there and does his name again, and then you can go do your thing. Thank you very much. Say your name again.
Phil Ford, may I offer an opinion? And then I'll, let me,
Let him ask you the
Just
question.
a moment. So originally, I know that there's two roads that head north out of Henderson Ridge from above. One was an access to the lower Jordan Lane. That's closed, that's since closed, correct? That's not a throughway
and if
anymore.
both of the other entries are to 4 Mile Ridge.
Okay, so the lane that takes off right there at that intersection, that was never plotted as an exit, or,
Not to my knowledge.
because when Jerry put that in, I just got my license, so I was up there quite a bit before any houses were.
Sure.
And that's why I always thought that was the two, like, exits, so to speak. And then I know the gentleman that used to take care of the old exit, and he's since moved. But to my understanding, that was originally like an out, right? Because the subdivision ends right there, correct?
Just at that point, there's sign to sign, basically mailbox to mailbox along at Nicole and Justice Ridge.
Okay,
So yeah, that's right on the edge of that, but
because those were two separate petitions, and that's where they came together, right?
that I'm not certain of.
Wait. We're not gonna go back and forth.
Okay.
Finish with one, then we move on to another.
I like tag team.
Sorry, gotta keep it organized.
Carol keeps it.
Just that was just for me to help understand it. I'm familiar with the property, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna, if it's fine, I'll relinquish the microphone for now.
Now, go ahead. Thank you. Restate your name again.
Yes, Don Stewart. Just clarification. I think the road you're thinking of is not part of Henderson Ridge subdivision. It's part of the Heights, which is the adjacent subdivision with that road that goes down to 46.
Foreman's Passage.
Yeah, Foreman's Passage is the other one.
That's not part of Henderson Ridge.
Okay,
It's in a different subdivision,
and what's the other subdivision called?
Henderson Heights.
Henderson Heights. And that delineation is right here, or is it further east?
Right after Lifford's property abuts Henderson Heights.
Okay, that's what I thought. So that was the line of where it stopped before Henderson Heights went in.
Correct.
Right, that's
The road you're thinking of is farther east.
Right,
Okay.
I got you.
There's three phases,
Right.
Henderson Meadows, Henderson Heights, and Henderson Ridge.
And Meadows was down below on 46. And Heights was up above.
Anybody else? Come up. Restate.
May I speak again? My name is Joe Budd. I just want to give a perspective on something here you know, again, we come from Indianapolis and Westfield where it's subdivision after subdivision. And, you know, as I said before, we sought this out because of the land, the lot size, but it just seems like, and I just mean this, just as a matter of perspective, of paradigm to look at this. If a neighborhood anywhere, and it doesn't matter whether it's Brown County or anywhere, establishes, okay, here are our platted lots. And the neighbors agree, we're gonna keep them this size. And then someone goes to the county and says, you know, I don't want to take mine and cut it in half here. And then there's no consult or no looking at one of the standards being, what does the neighborhood have? And the county just says, yeah, go ahead and do that. And then someone does it. As much as the county may be wanting to, and elected members wanting to help somebody build their dream home, it comes across the whole neighborhood as hostile. Because our neighborhood doesn't want that. That's why there's so many here. And so if we don't take a look at all at what the neighborhood has established and just say, yeah, well, they filed this, filed that, okay, done. That seems like, you know, a hostile act. Just wanted to throw out that perspective.
Thank you.
I think to clarify, just like the nature of this board, and this is what Dave is over there flipping through, I assume, is like, this gets in the nitty gritty a little bit, but there's another board called the Board of Zoning Appeals, and they have more leeway in like making a choice of like, you know, yes or no, where we're more bound by like, this is what the ordinance says. And so that is what one of them's quasi-judicial, there's like terminology. But so this is kind of what I was trying to get Dave to clarify is like, what are we supposed to be looking at and how do we know whether the requirements were met or not? But your point is well taken, but we also have separate lists.
Am I allowed to go back or no?
Sure. Restate your name, please.
Yes, Ann Kell. So just to state another perspective, understand everybody not wanting to, you know, further divide their lots. They like the woods, those kind of things, and not wanting to set precedent. I think I'm in a unique situation here where I'm asking for a non-buildable lot, as Caleb put in the presentation, where I'm not dividing that to put a home, right? We're not taking that 5 acres and putting 2 homes on that. I'm asking for a driveway access. So when we're thinking about setting precedent, I'm not asking for a buildable lot.
With that said, is there a reason why you don't go for an easement instead of splitting it off? Then it wouldn't be a split. It wouldn't be creating any new tracts of ground. It sounds like it would appease everybody if you just did access easement instead.
I don't know that it would if their issue is trees getting cleared, but
They're all saying.
There's already.
Right, but
I don't know that any trees would be cleared. There's already
yeah, I don't, sorry.
No, so honestly, that was, Ernest, you know, as the property owner, that was something that he wanted to go this direction and not an easement. So I respected that. Thank you.
So I wonder what the ramification of adding to it. We can't take away or create, well, that would be creating more. So the new lot or new home or whatever, if you were to say, I would like to add it into Henderson Heights, that would be a completely different thing to where he paid the same dues and same percentage for roads and all that. Is that possible, or is that a different, just trying to think of a solution that everybody, you know, is happy with?
Yes. You can amend the plan to add additional acreage.
So on one hand, you have a petitioner that's requesting to sell a portion, a very small portion, to create a road. What if a new lot were added to, and they may not be willing to do that, if a new lot were to be added to Henderson Heights subdivision or Henderson Ridge, I always get them confused. Would that be something that would be more welcomed? And I'm just throwing out ideas, because as far as paradigm goes, I've been here a minute, and somebody that's been here longer than me are the petitioner's parents. Like, they've been a staple in the community for a long time, and the land up behind them is kind of blocked. Like, there's a 4-wheeler trail back there, but to get a road up the side of that hill is, I mean, it's well beyond 20%. So it really becomes disadvantageous pretty quickly. So just trying to help in look at all the solutions that could be had.
I mean, I can take their point that if you look at this just GIS image, there's 10 other lots on the map that are essentially in the same situation of
Sure.
realistically unreachable from 46, but that you could access from these other directions. And so it does set a precedent, even if no one ever tries to act on it. But I guess that's the question then to Dave and Kayla, that I don't know if they've sorted it out yet. Just how do we, I mean, just back to the question of, your point is, if it meets the requirements, then what are the requirements and does it meet it?
Yeah, I was just looking at the lot size requirements, and all the lot size requirements are tied to a residential use or a special exception use. So there doesn't seem to be a standard for a lot that is not going to be used for some purpose, some residential purpose.
A driveway doesn't count as a resident. I mean, I know you're not living on it, but
Yeah.
there's not any.
Yeah, I think that a lot on which a dwelling is erected may not be smaller.
Yeah.
So I could totally understand if he wanted the access, but didn't want to pay into the community. Like, I don't want to be a part of the community. I just want to use your roads. Like, I get that. Could he say, could we replat my property into and just get an easement?
Probably like the whole, I mean, that's outside of the scope of tonight,
Sure.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Check this, if you got any questions.
Just thinking.
Okay.
You got more folks.
Wait, got Mr. Lush? I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry, I don't wanna butcher it.
Well, that's fine. The H is silent, so it's Ernest Lippert. We own property 14A and 14B. And a lot have been said about the wilderness out there, the trees. I love trees. I went through high school from Montana, just south of the Canadian border. Love Montana. We have a daughter who lives up in Alaska. Love going up Alaska. It's beautiful. That's one of the reasons we purchased the property on Brown County, because of the beauty and also this seclusion of it. But I guess with that perspective, that I'd like to share that with other people too. And the only thing there, I did not want the easement because I wanted to make it clean, but he's just putting a driveway through there to build a house down below, and that's fine. That's great. So anyway, that's my perspective. I would like to maintain the integrity of that, but let other people also enjoy the beauty of that area.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do you have a road from Rich Road into your property?
Do I have
Or
a
driveway or whatever? How do you
Yes.
get into your property?
Okay, that one picture, there's a chain across there. It used to be,
Okay, I see.
yeah, it used to be, that land used to be Crothers, Max Crothers. And he had 2 lots there. We purchased both of them. We thought someday we would build a house out there, but all of our children moved away. Life changed. My wife passed away, so we just enjoy we got them camping all the time. So, but that's our property and that's our lane right now. Very crude.
I have a question.
Yes,
Why not an easement?
I just didn't want to deal with that because you never know who buys it later on. You end up fighting over property rights or easement things. Let's like to have it clean. I've just seen too many things up in Montana where, hey, don't even go there. So maybe I don't understand it that much, but I just want to make it clean and sell it off.
Question,
Yes,
when you said you own properties 14A and 14B, what,
That's 3 lots.
what I'm saying,
2
so,
lots.
but is that what, there's like a little one on, is that essentially 14B is what you're,
No, they took 14A, there's 14A and 14B
Oh,
along the road there.
okay,
And we're just taking a slice off of 14A.
yeah,
Wide enough to put a driveway down through there.
right, okay.
Okay.
I guess I'm just saying it's like, yeah, not trying to get into mediating this whole thing, but it's like there is a split already in that property near where, I don't know where 14B and 14A is based.
Well, 14B would be the left down below. You see on this one right here,
Oh, okay.
14A and this is 14B down here.
Oh,
So in the GIS, it's already showing that's a
okay,
separate.
I see.
That's why
Okay,
the confusion. I thought you had three because there's three listed.
okay, sorry, I'm following now.
Any other questions? Want to intercede?
I'm back to the easement question again. I mean,
Yes.
an easement is just as vulnerable as the lot
Selling it all?
is selling it off.
Yeah, you're talking to someone that doesn't understand that, but I just from growing up and seeing all the easement problems of other people in Montana, they just, maybe they're anti-government, or just, sell it off, so.
David, do you have anything to say about easements?
No,
I mean, so.
That's the shortest answer he's ever given. Nope.
I mean, that would be a solution to some of the concerns raised tonight.
So, okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. I know you're tired of looking at me. Don Stewart.
We've got a running clock, don't worry.
And, again, we talked about perspective and, doing things in good faith. When I learned that, Mr. Kelp and Mr. Lifford had struck a deal, I immediately looked at the GIS map, and this was several months ago. And on the GIS map, I was shocked to see that that lot had already been showing up, that small sliver of land as a new lot. So I made a couple of trips to the Area Planning Commission's office and said, you can't just add a new lot in a subdivision, there's a process. And everybody in the different county office buildings, the surveyor, I don't know who else signs off on it, the planning commission and others, had all signed off on this transaction without a hearing. And thankfully, I was able to jump into the mix of this and say, time out. And I let Mr. Lifford know, and he graciously said, yes, we want to follow the process, which I really appreciate. So just a little perspective that I felt like there was something that was trying to be pulled totally contrary to the law, that they wanted this to be a done deal without going through this hearing process. Thank you.
Can I speak to that?
Absolutely. Well, oh, go ahead and have a seat, sir.
So he did make us aware of the violation of the ordinance. I met with him multiple times. So when he's saying that there were signatures on this transfer, so basically it had been transferred, this small lot had been transferred already to Mr. Kelp from Mr. Lifford. That was signed off by the folks downstairs in those offices.
Right.
So the surveyor's office, the county surveyor's office did not see that. They didn't sign off on it. Our office did not see that and sign off on it.
The recorder's office.
It was the recorder's office, the assessor's office, basically to make a new parcel. They all stamp it and sign off on that. So that was not the surveyor's office or the planning commission.
Thank you for that clarification. Yes, Mr. Kelp.
I can't help. So felt like that was an attack a little bit on my character, so just want to speak to that, and I think Kayla, you can attest to. I tried to follow every bit of this process. So apologize for my negligence and not knowing, or my just not knowing right what to do. So probably should have read it more, but I think Kayla can attest that ever since I knew that I was supposed to be working with it, I've contacted her almost every week to make sure that I was following every step appropriately. So want to say that I was trying to do things in good faith, and I have good character, even though some people have tried to paint me in that light of trying to sneak this past. Thank you.
Anyone else? Let this gentleman come up first, because he's been raising his hand. No, you get up.
Don't
You
take her
come
off.
over here, because I've seen you flagging over there. Yeah,
Danny Kubel, and I live in the neighborhood. I live on Tracy. Been there about 14 years, and I don't wanna belabor this, of how beautiful our neighborhood is and why we moved there. I moved from Indianapolis and Chicago before that in a subdivision. This is the neighborhood I wanted. I want it to stay like this. And I hear a lot of talk about precedents and whether we'll set precedents or not, but it seems no matter what we all say here today, nobody can guarantee that you all may not be on the commission when somebody else comes up and says, hey, 4 years ago, the commission voted to subdivide a lot. Why can't we do it? And you guys might not be here, and another commission may look at the records and say, yes, it's been done before. And whoever's petitioning at that time can use that as a reason that it should be done again. Regardless of what good reasons they have for doing this and how innocent it sounds, at least me and I think the rest of the property owners just don't want to go down this road. The lots were plotted that way. That's why we bought. We want to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, sir. You can come on up. Bella.
Phil Ford, and I am also trying to be an orderly person, so I appreciate maintaining the order. Thank you. The opinion that I wanted to mention earlier had to do with some discussion I heard as far as this group's parameters to work within to approve things or not versus what a covenant might be and where that might stand. So I just would offer an opinion, if I may. What's legal and proper is legal and proper wherever. And so that needs to be something that's decided by the group that's responsible to do that. If a owner moves into a neighborhood and agrees upon those covenants, and those covenants do not break any laws or force anyone to break any laws, then we've agreed upon those. And I would think that if we're going to do something different than what the covenants are saying, first steps would be to see if anything within that covenant could be changed, anything could be worked with in that sense. And then if it can, then take the steps and look at the other entities for what the legal matters might be. If it can't, then it kind of stops there. Because no one was forced to accept those covenants. They were already in existence when most of us moved into our properties. But I'm not an attorney, that's just my opinion.
And what are the covenants that would relate to this property from the?
That no lots would be less than 2 acres.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Joe Budd from Henderson Ridge. I just want to ask a question to clarify something because I think there is some confusion here. I'm quite familiar with where the mailboxes are and the chain dog area there, which is kept really nice. And it has been stated several times that there's already a road there where they want to put in one. And I just want to ask the question if is that the case? Are those the same thing? Because I don't think they are. I don't think there is already a road there where a driveway would be going. I could be wrong though, but it's not, I don't think it's the same as the chained off area.
Okay, thank you. Got it, Mark?
Yeah, I came in late. I apologize. I was still on the way back from work. Where is the house gonna be built?
In the big lot,
Between the creek
between,
and the white rectangle?
over the blue line,
Got it.
okay, because that is, if you look at the Kelp Park on 46,
Sure.
you're looking up that hill,
Yep.
across the creek. He wants to come from the other angle, which will be a little bit easier.
And there's no house on that blue lot.
No.
Well, there's a house up by the highway on the blue line.
Right, the Kelps. But that's the only house that's there. The rest of that's the farm buildings,
And,
greenhouses and stuff. Huh?
I can't pronounce the last name, apologize. They have sold some pieces to,
Just a little white.
Yeah, the way.
to get to said property.
Right.
The pieces that were sold were part of the subdivision.
It's
It
the whole,
was-
it's the whole
that's lot.
subdivision there along that road, that green road there.
Are they denoted by the yellow or is that just, no?
Those are red.
They wrote
No, those are lot.
I think the little blue triangles are basically the.
What is the intent for the other 4 point whatever acres?
He'll still own it. There's no house on either one of his parcels now.
And just enough was sold off just to place a
Driveway.
So, couple solution driveway could be sell more to make the minimum acreage.
No, because then it'd still be adding a lot. It'd be
Well, that's,
subdividing. a
yeah,
parcel.
that's their objection, but if the covenants just say it's not supposed to be less than 2 acres, I mean, we haven't seen the covenants, so we don't know. But
Okay. I'm
it
good.
could be that
Either that or.
the covenants don't restrict it.
I think the covenant's restricted from being divided.
I don't know. I
I'm pretty
haven't
sure
seen
you're not allowed to subdivide the parcels in that subdivision. Right?
I believe what I was hearing someone say was that you could subdivide, so you could replat a lot to add an additional as long as it was not under 2 acres. I believe that.
That's what I was
heard
taking
someone
from what he was saying, but we haven't seen the,
Which it is under 2 acres.
you know, it has to be a minimum of,
If that were the case,
Right.
it could be increased to 2
Right.
acres.
but yeah, this is us trying to mediate
Okay.
outside
Yeah,
of
yeah, and that's not in our scope. I was just trying to help provide other ideas or solutions to get the same thing, everybody happy.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Have we brought it back to the board?
Not yet, but I just want to make sure before I do that. Okay. Well, we're gonna bring it back to the board and any other questions?
Does anyone possess a copy of the subdivision covenants?
No,
I don't know if you missed this, Dave said
They're not.
that
we don't.
that's not a requirement for us to consider.
It's not in our purview.
I did miss that.
I have a question.
Now, please sit. We brought it back up to the board. Okay, well, I didn't know. I just was waiting to find it. You were done. Any other comments or concerns or?
There's nothing, if this gentleman wanted to sell all of lot, whatever, call it A. Assuming there's still 2 lots, they didn't jump ahead and make 3, assuming there's 2. If he wanted to sell the other party that entire lot, there's nothing stopping that other party from putting a driveway in and accessing land that's not part of the subdivision, correct?
That's what I would think, but David? Yeah.
Or selling 2 acres of that to make a minimum lot size, there wouldn't be anything to restrict him from doing it that way either.
We don't know what the covenants say, but
So there's a couple other ways to do this, it seems. I don't know that this is the best way. But I don't know. I mean, I understand
yeah.
where the people that spoke against the petition are coming from. I totally understand. It seems there is a workaround, that would still allow it to happen. It's just a different size. I would almost wonder if an easement wouldn't be better or a 2 acre minimum better.
Should this go through, what prevents the house from being built if somebody sells that small lot?
It's not a buildable.
0.3 acres.
lot.
And if you get that,
It is noted as unbuilt.
okay.
Yeah. And without knowing the covenants of the thing, you wouldn't know if someone could add an exit or an entrance. So that's what it would be. I mean, you would be exiting So
If it's not buildable, therefore, they're safe from a home being there.
but in the same
Just the
breath,
objection to a new road that doesn't exist, aka driveway going in, that's the problem.
because that homeowner would be taking advantage of all the benefits and infrastructure without paying dues or being a part of the subdivision.
And creating another lot,
And what?
creating another lot.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I would want to see like, that's been voiced, but is that actually prevented by the covenants?
Yeah.
Or not? Even if we're not supposed to consider that,
Correct.
that's an easy thing to say we don't want, but yeah, I don't want.
I'd still like to see them.
All right. What is it you'd like to see?
Subdivision covenants, Mr.
I can't pull them up on my phone.
Did anyone happen to bring a copy of your comments?
Go down and unlock the recorder's office.
Nobody's working down there now. Okay, guys.
So we have the proposed covenants. I don't see a recorded date on here. There's an audit note. Yeah, 1995.
Do you be able to just make quick copies of that, Caleb?
Mhm.
That's so we can see it.
We take a 5-minute recess and do that?
I think so. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. So she can copy of that for us. If you gotta go to the bathroom.
You guys want the road maintenance agreement?
Huh?
Do you want the road maintenance agreement?
It might be that.
Okay, I'm ready to call this meeting back to order at 6:57. Okay, any comments from, or questions about the covenants?
What about 11, number 11?
Which, on what page?
Page 2.
Page 2?
Page 2.
Future reference, any modification, deletion, or additions to this covenant shall be brought about only through majority consent of property owners and appropriate notification of approval by the county planning commission.
That's changed.
That's to the, you pointed out that on this front page of the covenants, it says an amendment to covenants, see number 95-4653. I don't think we have that. Copies.
That was dated on 12/12/95.
Yeah.
Again, I was not here. Is the petitioner not wanting to contribute to the road?
I don't think we
We haven't got to that point.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Does Henderson Heights take care of, is that a county, that's a county road now, right? Do you guys still maintain that? Does anyone know?
We talked about Justin's Ridge.
Justin's Ridge.
It's a county road, right, until right past, like right about here, and then it becomes private.
Yes, it says number, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's written in 95.
I don't know if I can, like, not even read this, but
That's very strange.
Get there.
Saturday, no allowance for 712.
Andy, do you know, there's three types of roads in my mind here. There's county roads, public roads, and private roads. A public road being a county road that's been abandoned but privately maintained. Where does all this fit in? Do you know?
I think that this road falls into the public road, because it used to be Old County Road 138. And it's
Those
been,
rarely get abandoned.
so it wasn't abandoned. It says that the center line of this follows the center line of the Old County Road 138. So I think it's an old county road that was unmaintained, that the Henderson Ridge was taken over with maintenance of to develop it.
On the Henderson Ridge.
That's correct.
Right.
But it would still be considered,
I think it's still,
County
unless of the ordinance for vacating,
I understood that it was still in the county inventory.
so it's just unmaintained.
I know.
Road card.
Number 9 on the very back page addresses that should public maintenance of the roadway subsequently become unavailable, the terms of this agreement was still null and void. But again, I don't know that this is
That part is just the
initial.
Like the paying for them being required to pay for maintenance.
flat.
I live on a public road. We have a road maintenance agreement that one of our neighbors will not pay, or at least had until it maybe the way. And it could not ever be enforced. Every situation is possibly different, but it is definitely muddying the waters somewhat. It's public road 3. If it's a public road, anyone can come down there.
I guess, to maybe the gentleman, the road chairman or whatever your role was, you had mentioned the minimum 2 acres, but I have not seen that mentioned in these documents. I don't know where that's, where you've seen that, or if you could direct us to that requirement.
Phil Ford. We have two documents that go hand in hand. One is the covenant and one is the bylaws. And my memory does not remember if it's in one versus the other, but it's definitely contained within one of those two documents. And then those are voted upon by all of the residents within the area with majority votes on any changes, additions, and so forth.
Thank you.
You have a lot of association.
No, it's a road committee, so it legally it steps below, but those elements that were in those covenants are ones that, joint approval, joint agreement.
But is there a lot of owners association developed?
Not in, and I'm not an attorney, but I'm trying to be legal in some of my phrasing. It's not an association. It's Henderson Ridge Road Committee.
Okay.
And the Road Maintenance Committee. And so it deals with the maintenance of the roads, deals with dues that come in from all of the individuals living there, the residents. Those go towards, we've asphalted some of the roads, we do dust control on the gravel roads, snow clearing, things of that sense. And then, for the most part, it has to do with managing the lots and then managing the roads.
So then you had mentioned two documents, and what Kayla copied for us up here is the covenants and then the road maintenance agreement. But you're saying there's a separate thing that you're calling the bylaws, or is the road maintenance agreement what you're calling the bylaws? Do you see what I'm asking?
Would it help to look?
Yeah.
I can take a peek, please. Basic related evidence.
I read something that it could be taken before the members of the community and a majority vote could be had. I don't think that has anything to do
That was
with
alteration in this document. Not changed tonight, that you are, so it's on the sauce. So I read.
So there's another separate document.
Okay.
You may want to say that on the microphone so they can hear you.
Neither of those are considered the bylaws. There is a separate document. It's called, there are the bylaws. And within it, it's those things that, much like bylaws would be, could, by way of vote, could be altered and changed as time went on. The covenants could as well with majority vote of all residents, but it's those things that we that are, the elected officers that live with that and not make up our own decisions on certain things.
So is there a bylaw in place now that a homeowner can't divide or change his lot?
There's nothing that specifically addresses that, just again, that the size of the lot. So if we were looking at someone who had a 6-acre lot and came before our committee and said, hey, within the guidelines and so on, we have this 6-acre lot and we're looking to try to divide it into 2 3-acre lots, then I don't think there's anything within our previously agreed upon items that would say that we had the ability to say no to. There will be something though.
Yeah, you're obviously noting.
There will be some clarity added in our next annual meeting.
Dave, how do the bylaws work versus covenants? Is it something else that we must or do not, how's that work?
I don't know how they're, I have to see how they work.
What was your question?
The difference between the adherence to covenants versus bylaw with respect to our duties.
And he said,
He doesn't know, he'll have to see the specific language of the bylaws.
okay. Any other questions for this gentleman?
Not for this gentleman, but maybe for this board.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're getting your exercise tonight.
It's all right.
Okay.
So if there's no county ordinance against this, and we don't know that there's a bylaw or a covenant against this, are we as a board induced to make a decision based on the information presented?
If they meet the concrete standards of the ordinance, you must approve it.
And that was, the size only matters because, or doesn't matter because it's unbuildable, like it doesn't then kind of like fall into those things defined, or if it were buildable, this would be too small. Well, I guess that's kind of what I'm asking.
If it were, it would have to be buildable, it would have to be, 2 acres?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So then, I mean, that seems, I know we run into this other times where it's like, well, it's not defined, so now you're in this a little bit of a weird area, but I guess. Like, I don't like this whole situation, but it, you know, we're saying basically we're allowing something that wouldn't meet the criteria. Just, and it's too small by any criteria that's defined, but it's unbuildable, so it's, doesn't matter that it's too small. I don't know, that seems a little bit like backwards of a way to, if we're saying the lot minimum size is 2 acres, then, and that's in line theoretically with their bylaw, you know, I don't know, is that something that's been dealt with? I understand the purpose isn't to build, but it also seems like the ordinance is saying a lot would be a minimum of 2 acres, or that would have to be a variance request, right?
So I think that the intent of the acreage requirements in our ordinance, because we have different acreage requirements in different zonings, depending on whether you're on sewer or septic. So I think the intent was, you know, the 2 acre minimum to know you've got a good chance of getting a septic. That would then be for a buildable lot, and the ordinance doesn't speak to an
Non-buildable.
unbuildable or non-buildable lot.
I don't know, Dave, like, what's your take, you know what I mean? I guess to me, that kind of seems like it doesn't meet the concrete standards of the ordinance because there are no standards related to it. You see what I'm like kind of torn about?
Yes, I see what you're saying. But there is no standard that you could say is violated or not met.
But like, but it's not meeting any standard that, like, you know, it's not violating a standard because there's no standard to meet.
Or no standard defined for non-buildable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess to your statement, I understand what you're saying, and I understand the role of this board, that if it met the requirements, we would be required to approve it because it met the requirements. But then if there are no requirements, does that mean we're not required? You know, I don't know how that's gonna fall. I'm just trying to understand the like mandate of this board in relation to this request.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the first ordinance I've seen that doesn't have a simple minimum lot size in the zone.
I love that for us. Okay, thank you, Dave. Carol, you've got a hand raised up there.
Yes, sir.
And you allow the speeches. I'm Ernest Lippert, and this is a question for understanding. If I maintain my lot size, don't divide it, am I legally able to sell an easement on that property?
Yes. Dave,
Yeah, yes.
Brandon.
the attorney says yes.
I've taken all your time this evening.
No, we're all learning as we go here.
The chase.
So it would remain your property.
We remain my property. I would sell the easement agreement with Mr. Cannon, and he could put his driveway in.
Or you could sell 2 acres, which
I
would be,
want to sell, no, I want to sell 2 acres. No, I want to maintain that.
I'm just saying,
Right.
in theory,
And with all due respect, you won't even see his house. You
Yeah.
come by there, it's right by the mailboxes, and it's a driveway going down. My driveway would be on the left, and his driveway would be on the right. You wouldn't even see the house, so.
I mean, you'd obviously want to consult an attorney
Right.
that's familiar with real estate and easements, but the
Right.
other nice thing about an easement is you can place restrictions, like that it's for access to one single family home or whatever, so that
Yeah.
it doesn't spread.
So I apologize for taking everybody's time this evening, but,
Hey, everybody gets a chance to learn, and
Yeah.
thank you very much, okay?
So does that mean that's a official withdrawal of the petition, or what's your?
well, I looked at, since my integrity was questioned earlier this evening.
I'd like to see a picture of that.
Sure. He said he would like to have it put to a vote.
Okay. Good night.
Last chance.
Thank you. Again, Joe Budd from Henderson Ridge, and I appreciate the chance. It's been stated many times, that this, a little over a quarter of an acre is an unbuildable lot. Is that what the county has determined? Because, 0.3 of acres would absolutely accommodate a house. In fact, where I used to live in a much bigger house in Westfield, that's what we had.
They're saying the minimum lot size for the county ordinance is 2 acres.
So that's
To
the
build
county.
anything on
You
it.
could
Then that
get-
answers my question.
Buildable, yeah, for it, what did it say? The domain,
Are you talking about Henderson Ridge,
Residential use.
or are you talking about county itself?
Regardless of what this says, 2 acres is the minimum.
Well,
Okay.
that's the standard. You could get a variance for less, and in a subdivision, smaller lot. So yeah, to your
And-
point, I don't know that if this was just divided and as it was, I don't know if there's anything that would stop somebody from theoretically building.
Because, again, 10 years from now,
Well,
people may
yes.
move on, they may sell, and somebody say, hey, I could put a house right
I
there.
think it could be approved with that as if it were approved, there's like constraints could be added to say, it's not permitted as a
Okay,
building site.
but that was the question, because.
Yeah,
You know.
just by its nature, it's not
Not big enough.
buildable. No,
Well, it's big enough, but not big enough for
In
the
the
county.
counties, it's legal to.
Understood, yeah.
Typically in other counties as well, in the owner certificate portion, they'll label it as non-buildable there as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, and that was, I think, my question. I didn't know how to word it. Thank you.
cleared mud?
Yeah.
So as a board, we have to look at the petition as submitted and make a finding over or a recommendation.
Related to
Think
this
this-
petition.
we're just approved. If this doesn't go further
Right.
beyond us, right? We either approve it or not.
And there are some additional corrections that he made to.
Always,
I love your work to get the documents squared away.
yeah,
Thank you.
it'll be his legacy. Okay, so somebody needs to, if we don't have any more discussion, somebody needs to make a motion.
Okay, well,
Well, I don't know, were you about to say something else?
not yet.
I don't know what Jane thinks.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
haven't heard from Jane. Randy's not here, so we gotta fill out that end of the table.
Did you want to know my vote?
Well, you're-
Yeah, we haven't, we're going to vote, not the second.
I think it needs to be an easement. I thought it all along.
That's what you can. Thank you, Jane.
In person.
Oh, I'm conflicted. I guess I don't see the difference in the easement. It meets or doesn't meet or whatever. The end result of a driveway and a home is still the same. What is the real complaint by the neighborhood?
Is the division of the lot.
Is if it's the division of the lot, if the lot can't be built on, I'm failing to see.
Was that they can have that as their problem, you know?
Yeah.
I'm saying out loud.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Are we bound by this or not? I haven't seen the bylaws. I hate making a decision without all the information.
But I don't think we're bound by covenants or bylaws.
And he recognized that it's the dividing's not the problem, the 2 acres is
Right.
what's out of line. The size of the lot is what's not in line.
Well, the size of a lot, if a structure were to be
No,
erected.
if their bylaw, let's say we go with that, it's saying minimum lot size of 2 acres. That it's out of line, whether or not we're beholden to determine, consider that.
The bylaws may say minimum lot size of 2 acres to support a house. It may not talk about an unbuildable lot, right? Who knows? I guess I hate voting and I have no input.
If they wanted to put a wastewater treatment plant in up there and buy a piece of a couple of different people's property to do it, that would be creating a new lot. Same. Or if a radio tower company wanted to use that as an easement and put a big 5G tower right there, which is the dead spot between Columbus and.
There's more than one. There's more than one.
Okay. That starts with the dead zone, is it?
Right.
Okay. Okay, well, do I have any kind of motion?
I'll make a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Make a motion that we deny docket number 25-P-03.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Andy Boyles,
I knew I'd be first. I almost said it. Should have called me first.
it's just bookless.
You're technically third. The first in the.
No,
Kyle Deckard,
Yeah, I knew I'd be right every time. No.
Carol Bowden,
What?
You're next.
what?
Oh,
Where are we at?
hey, some people don't talk so I can hear, so give me a break. You, I don't have a problem with. No.
Tim Allen,
Is a yes or no, what's the,
Yes
Deny
would
based on
deny
the
it,
finding.
no. No,
Yes.
Not
yes.
denied.
Yes would approve it, no would deny the position.
No.
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 I think it's that way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a yes vote is denying the petition. The
Okay.
motion was to deny.
yes.
Okay,
So do you stick with your no?
start this over. Okay, so motion
The
was to
motion? To
deny.
deny. So a yes says, yes, I want to deny.
Okay, sorry, yes, I'm changing mine to yes. Okay,
I think we always need to clarify that before we start voting. It does get confusing.
okay, so still up on him?
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna go yes.
Jangler,
Yes.
Yes. Don't like this stuff.
You said yes?
I said yes.
that was 4-2. Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, 2 acres and the not in the code and the easements on that. Yeah, I don't like this whole set of circumstances.
So the petition has been denied.
I do want to say one thing now that we voted that, I had an easement right on my property, by a utility and stuff, and they were gonna tell me where I was gonna put it. And I said, no, you're gonna come here and I tell you where you put it. So, so I have utility that runs on my ridge top over 15 acres going from one end to the other. So, so if you do an easement, make sure, you do it right, have the right paperwork, with the right, stuff, and the right, do's and don'ts and can and cannots in that easement for future, endeavors. Okay? Sorry it took so long, but we'd rather take the time to do it than, not. Thank you very much, everybody. You sure you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Thank you, Lord.
I'm comfortable, we'll bring them back, okay? So this Kyle come back, I'll go through the rest of the agenda. I have the muscle it's my dad's.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all. Good luck.
Okay. And stuff, so. You really redo the whole engineer design. So that the other one. What? Are you feeling a little lonely? She's a semi-regular here, so that's why I'm just giving her.
Just easily entertained.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a good
you. Be
evening.
careful driving home. Thank you. Kyle's back. Okay, so, any issues about, discussions, announcement, and inspector reports? Anybody have anything on that? Okay.
We do not have any docket items for the
Next.
September meeting.
Yeah. So,
Yay.
okay, yeah. So the question is, do we want to work on this stuff now, or do we want to make it a work session for next meeting?
That is up to you all.
I would say work session
Make
next
the
meeting.
next
There's
month,
nothing
make it a
else
work
on
session, and we just work on this.
This took a lot longer than I think we.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Andy?
Well,
Anyway, should we ask?
if I'm honest, I think we might could slide one of them in and talk about it, at least to gain some information from what Kayla's findings were for the next meeting. I believe she mocked up a new RV policy to look at.
So the policy that is in, let me get this pulled up here.
I'm not saying we have to get
Wait, are
into it, but it seems like one that we would gain some knowledge before the next meeting.
Are we done? Have we adjourned the meeting?
Nope, we're work session now, well, issue. So the camping policy that we sent out right after the last meeting, that is just what our office currently
Has.
So, but now it is in Word form. This is still just a policy.
And you also gathered some other counties.
Yeah.
Yes, there are many.
I know, saw that.
So there are 8 other counties and they vary drastically.
Yeah.
So in order to even write a draft ordinance, I need to know where we're going with it. Do we want to allow them based on, number of days? Do we not want to have any ordinance, just put the policy in? I just need guidance on kind of how to draft.
This has always been the policy of the Plan Commission.
Yes, but it is just now a written policy.
And the policy's not necessarily enforced.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily change anything other than its official policy.
We typed it. It's never been typed out before. It's just been kind of word of mouth.
So let me ask you a question, just a general question, because I know I brought this up before. I'm building a house. I'm gonna have a, trailer, RV, whatever, camper out there on the property. How do we deal with that?
So you can camp in it for short periods of time. You have to take it with you when you leave.
per the policy,
Yes,
but currently they can do whatever.
no.
I
So this
understand.
policy has been in effect since long before I was here, but it's just been kind of, this is the way we've always done
It's
it.
more of a Lonnie thing. When he gets there, he says, hey, you can't do that.
Or, and a lot of times people call and ask us.
Right.
They're like, hey, I'm building a house, can we put, no, I'm sorry, you can't.
But if they do, what can we do about it?
This is,
Typically, it's a health department in conjunction with.
Yeah, I know we've been down this road.
Yeah.
It feels like 98
Mhm.
years. So this is just a written, what's been verbal. There's nothing enforceable aside from health department issues, violations.
So basically, put a tank in that pump that meet the requirements for health or a septic system.
They don't even.
But they would not meet,
I mean, if they did.
they wouldn't meet the building code requirements.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think they
To
can
be
get
a
a septic
well,
permit.
the health department only allows pump and haul for, fine, you
So
can get like a approval for a certain amount of time of pump and haul. You can't just have the
Yes,
tank
that's what-
indefinitely.
Okay. Right.
But you included in, you've got kind of our current ordinance and definitions, and you highlighted the part about, recreational vehicle, commercial campground. Is it just in the current ordinance, there's just not enough detail defined in those terms to give a point of enforcement, Dave? There's just like leeway in, designed with facilities for short-term occupancy. It just doesn't give something to like grab onto in this particular instance.
Not a lot to grab on to.
Yeah.
And the only place where a time limit is defined is in the floodplain and the flood control ordinance.
Mhm.
Okay, because I mean, I remember following about, this house was being built, that camper's been there like the whole time.
Mhm.
And, which definitely showed up after they worked at the septic field, but it was there even before that. And some other properties around that I called in and stuff, so.
Yeah. And typically we send out a violation letter
Uh-huh,
and that's that.
okay, and so the next question is, you send out a violation letter. They don't do anything, they don't respond, what's our next step?
Right.
Huh?
Right.
What is our next step? That's what we don't have,
That's what we don't have.
there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess to your question about like, there's a huge, variant in the, example policies you sent. I'm always hesitant to go from nothing essentially to the most delineated and defined thing. Multiple pages of restrictions, because we just don't, like, we have this, you have years of kind of anecdotal, we have one particular case. We don't really understand all the other nuances that you'd then be like opening up to. So I'd be inclined towards a more targeted, filling the holes that are clearly there. Addressing maybe other issues that you encounter typically.
Okay, this may not be the common feeling up here, but my thought is if I own land, I should be able to use it. Heaven forbid, my house burned down, I own a camper, I have to live in it. I mean, it's not what I want to do, but so be it.
Right.
But maybe put in some setbacks greater than homes have. Make them have to have a septic. Make them, or some way to document that they're having everything hauled. And be allowed that, health department or planning department or somebody can go out there and inspect it. Then after
Just the location inspection?
no, to make sure there's the health department aspect.
Okay.
But also I think there would be greater setbacks, because personally, I don't think our homes are back far enough from the road. 25-foot setback, is that right? Or
50.
but from the center of the road, so you're sitting right on the road, I mean.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you push it for 100-foot setback, get them off the road. If they can't meet that, they can go for variance and, put in some screening of plants, some sort to help shield it, to keep it more of a rural feel. But
Or any length of time?
I think so. I mean, I don't think it's our, you want somebody to say you can't have cows because of X, Y, Z, I don't like the smell of it. I find it's a fine line we're getting in. We're getting to governing too much.
the problem is that I feel we have to have some rules.
I agree.
Because
People
you
will
don't
be
have
living
any
in
people
buses.
coming up and they just do their thing. And again, it's not about their property, it's about what they're doing to it that ends up downstream.
That's why I said health department, septic and such.
Because I personally know several properties that weren't doing their thing, weren't hooked up.
I agree.
Hooked up and their poop was literally going into the creeks. They come down and end up by the schools and eventually Lake Monroe.
So if Tim's house does burn down and he moves into a camper, at what point does the Board of Health become concerned currently?
Let's say I don't have insurance on it, so I don't have any funds coming in. I gotta save money up to build again, right? I'm not gonna do that in 12 months.
So when do they become concerned if Tim does move?
Typically, either a neighbor will call and complain to us, or a neighbor will call and complain to the health.
Concern's the wrong word. When is the camper violating something in the eyes of the Board of Health?
If it's dumping its sewage on the ground.
Yeah.
It's not the same as your
I'm not disposing it correctly, correct, yeah. It's not saying, yeah.
I was
99%.
So as long as he's living in it and disposing of the sewage properly, there's no,
The health department doesn't, as long as the sewage is being disposed of, they don't have a dog in the fight.
And our current ordinance, we found also does not.
Because also when we have somebody building a house, they're spending how much building a home? A couple $100,000.
So
And they gotta live, buy a rent an apartment to live in for 12, 15, $100 a month easy.
I realize it may not be the popular opinion. I'm somewhat with Tim. I have seen many trailers that are far nicer than what I own.
There's
In this
my problem right there.
And
That is my
and
problem.
so trying to remove the aesthetic
I say make them,
bother.
they have to be, kept roadworthy and plated.
And no decks
And
or
it-
trailer or permanent structures built
Yep.
Yeah,
up to
no decks and no,
Yeah.
ramps
No
down.
permanent or accessory.
What about?
Yeah.
What about the same setback requirements as a,
Greater setbacks at home,
okay,
greater
them.
setbacks.
Greater setback.
Why is that? No.
Um,
If there's some homes that are nicer or less nice than certain trailers, what is the real point
I'm
of that?
trying to appease.
well, I guess that's what I'm asking. It's like, yeah, you'd think there'd be at least a minimum.
And then if they can't meet that, then they could say, well, they go to BZA and they offer to put in a,
Without thinking more about it, I would say definitely a minimum of what the homes.
yes, 100%.
But is there something that we can craft to give the Board of Health a little bit more help in this matter?
No,
To get more help from them,
No.
or to give
no,
them?
It paints a clearer picture that someone's in violation, of something. Can it?
I mean, they don't care about, it's just not their purview. It's not related to the waste.
And that's the only avenue we have.
Uh,
Folks have to get after.
Waste, yeah.
But like, if we're following this logic, and maybe you two can correct me if this, you're like, oh no, I think I view that as different. If I put in a septic system and then I just like at a campground, I put my my waste into the septic system. Well, now, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, why can't I just live in it? I mean, that's the natural extension of your.
you're kind of going down the same line saying, what's the minimum square footage for a residence for the county? Is there?
In FR, 240 square feet.
I mean, campers are over that. I mean, if you say, a tiny house. Oh, yeah, that's true. But
Right, but if it's not a building, does the square footage matter?
and then what comes
It
in?
doesn't meet
play?
building code for a
The-
residence.
Then,
But what part of it does?
yes,
The bedroom size, there are all kinds of, that's a Lonnie question. He knows all the codes.
Well, and the fact that it's a temporary structure,
Yeah.
it's a.
Like even the park model RVs, are you guys familiar with
Yeah.
those? Some of those are extremely nice. They still don't meet building code size requirements.
Is that state building code?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Indiana residential code. And we go off the 2020 with
It would be for
2014 amendment.
yes.
occupancy permit, like,
Yes,
to actually have an occupancy permit.
To be considered a home, yeah.
But so, like, what does that mean? Like, there's obviously people parked at a way they campground that are living there. So what? Like,
But
What-
it's a commercial campground.
right, but I'm saying, what's the difference then if
Living
it's
in
a
there
home?
versus living
If I'm parking this RV in the same place I would build a house, I have a septic system. I'm just trying to like follow their logic,
Good luck.
you know, then,
Let me know what you find out.
well, I mean, I'm kind of of the same mind, like people should be able to do what they want to do with their land as long as it's not infringing upon other people's rights and ability to enjoy their own land. Like that's the line then. But that does, and I mean, when you look at the expense of all that, it does also kind of upend the way things have been done here, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, I do think that's if that were the route we were going, literally laying that out, if it were allowed by, I don't understand all the competing like codes, then that's something that would require more input from, I realize we're required to have like public input sessions, but like we would want to tread that carefully. But like, what stops that just from being I guess that's what I'm asking.
Versus moving an old budget or mobile.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know, I started going with the old, you see some of them running down the interstate, those old mobile homes.
Airstream.
No, the old mobile homes out of a trailer park that are in
Right.
really bad shape, and it's like, they're not going towards the scrapyard.
Right.
So,
Well, I think in some of the stuff that you printed off or got from other places and stuff, I see like pick and choosing these stuff, some things that would be nice to put into here. Like one of them, like if you are building a house, then you get a permit to stay there for 1 year. And if you're not quite done building the house, you can get an additional 6 months, which I built my house, so, I get that. That's understandable. I didn't take that long, but, but that's understandable that,
one of them had only 90 days to build a house.
Huh?
One had 90 days to build a house.
Oh, no.
I was like, who's building that house?
I started on the day after
Was that
Memorial Day.
County?
I started the day after Memorial Day, moved in on Halloween, so. So
I'm gonna ask.
of course nowadays, it's hard to get the stuff. So,
If Tim's house burns down and he doesn't have a camper,
Can I borrow a
is
camper?
there anything preventing him from living in a tent on his property? Where's his waste going?
Good question.
behind the tree.
I don't think
We can
we don't have
I mean, I understand.
we don't have an ordinance that would touch that.
This is,
Well, the
it's
waste
really the
piece would-
same
Right, it'd be the same thing.
camping, because in an RV, you're still
I guess what
camping.
problem are we trying to solve? So what is the actual problem? I'm not saying there is or isn't.
Mhm.
Define the problem before you solve it. If we try to solve something that we don't even know what the hell we're solving,
I think
we're
we've got
wasting a lot of time.
yeah,
It's if somebody's abusing this fact, they have an RV parked in a way that is close to another person's land, it's harassing, disrupting their peace, and technically isn't living in it, then what?
I think
That's their problem right here.
So I guess.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say, it's that. It's
with
somebody-
that in mind, that's how we should,
Setbacks.
How
Now,
could that be aided?
Could a house be built where this trailer is at? This camper?
I don't know how far it is from the property lines.
Yeah, we had started to touch on that the last time, and I didn't know that we.
And that's why I think setbacks would help out immensely.
I know that we're talking about the one we're talking about the one I'm talking about, the house was over there and the camper was over there, so it was not on the road or 20 feet off the road, so, and the septic field was right, by the road, the new kind of septic field, so.
Aside from their particular issue, I'm sure there's other issues with campers that are slightly different. What have been other problems that is different than theirs?
We haven't ever had pushback. We've always had help from the health department.
Yeah.
And then health department investigated this specific case and the gentleman provided receipts of waste disposal.
I guess what are the other complaints? I mean, so, you know, hey, it's too close, or it's ugly, or it's generators making noise,
Somebody-
crap is flowing down into the.
Somebody's been here in a camper for, 3 months.
And I think the larger issue as to why it's before us now is we had a policy that wasn't published and not enforceable.
That I get. Would some of these complaints be solved just by, are people complaining, aside from them, I'm not talking about the specific case, are they complaining just because someone's doing something they're not supposed to? Or are they complaining because they don't like the actual action result?
Probably half and half.
If that makes sense, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
some people just, they're doing something, I know that they're not allowed to because of this policy or whatever.
I can tell you,
Trying to learn more so we can.
if you're building and the inspector tells you you can't do something, you usually don't do it because it's gonna cost you a lot more problems than it's worth. But in this particular case, and in the cases I'm assuming would be the stickier ones are if Tim's house burned down, which we.
Jeez. Hope not.
Yeah.
That's their-
Pay extra insurance.
You're gonna have to burn some savings.
I will be the first suspect.
Yeah.
I've said it at least 4 times.
But if that were to happen, there would be a hardship. And I'm sure people that are living in a camper full-time, there's certainly a hardship. So it's kind of picky and choosy, but it would be an easy way for someone to buy an acre in Brown County.
Maybe put minimum acreages.
And
Put restrictions. I really think.
right, it would be a workaround to buying an acre,
I agree.
putting a
But
camper
you have to
on
have
it.
a septic field, so likely in Bragg County, you have septic and a site,
Right.
100 acres, minimal. I mean,
No, but you just need to park
which is
now.
like, which,
Because trust me, I've seen some of the houses in this county and I'd rather be in a camper. I'm honest.
I get to go in those houses.
Yeah.
Never
They're really
came up.
close and personal with their residents.
this
Yeah.
one, this one instance, the trailer is 27 foot, if GIS is right, which, from the property line, it's 27 foot. Did you build a house at that location? 27 foot from the property
From
line?
the center of the road, as we said 50, right?
50 feet from the center of the road, if
How wide is the road?
I don't know
if it's a public road,
It's not.
it's not. So
How far?
25 feet
25 from the property.
from center line
Which is even
of
closer.
the easement.
And then how far from the back or the sides?
So,
15.
yeah, 15 on one side, 10 on the other, so 25 foot aggregate, and then 25 from the rear. So what do we think about just like maybe double the setback?
Yeah.
And this is all just for a
Or
draft.
then my problem comes in, if somebody wanted to do modular, a mobile home in from an old rundown mobile home, we don't restrict that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Site plan, certified site plan showing where it's being put. I mean, I think some restrictions on it definitely,
I think
but
too.
setbacks, I'm not sure. Who's next to me, I'd want some bigger setbacks, but is that right?
Especially because you just said people should be allowed to do what they want.
I mean, I agree. It's a.
A lot of, well, I guess I'd be curious to better understand that like building code, that building code piece of like what actually prevents it from being a residence. If, I think about like a 240-foot tiny home, like how does that bedroom?
Yeah.
Again, you look at some of these RVs, I don't know what this particular one is or anyone's, but there's some, like, you're as big as a house, some, mobile homes, it's
Yeah.
almost.
And more expensive.
And more expensive than some full-size houses.
But then here we are, okay, I'm sorry, go on.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because when you start to say, well, it can do this, it's like, what's the next logical step is, well, I just am gonna live in it. So it's
Right.
like, what's the risk, what is it that keeps that from being the next problem you're faced with?
Mhm.
Or if it's not a problem, if it's like, that's fine,
I'm not saying I would vote this way and say, what is the problem with living in a camper?
that's what I'm
You know,
asking.
where do you draw the line? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have a hard time justifying further setbacks than a structure would be allowed to have. Because you can be just as noisy on the front porch of your house as a camper generator.
Well, no, some of those generators are.
Yeah, but you could just run a generator,
You could put time frames on generators, that's what you wanna do, but I'd say most people, if they're gonna be like that, they're gonna be off grid. And so they're gonna have,
Yeah,
Or.
right, that's the problem. Some people are just jerks and then what? You can't,
And that's why we need to put some more
right,
specific
put some more
things.
specific.
Like the one I read about, if you happen to be building, you get a year, and if you're not quite done, you get an extra 6 months, so that's 16 months.
Yeah.
No, 18 months, sorry. 12 and 16.
Right, and then if building is not what's happening, then you have some other time frame.
Right, so,
Can I rescind my recommendation to talk about camping policy?
No,
yes, you can.
you didn't know why you opened this can of worms, but.
And you know what you can do?
For this discussion specifically for next time, so you know what I mean? We kind of know what hurdles, Kayla knows what hurdles the board's looking at.
I need to know what to do for next time.
Well, I just think.
Just
if you
draft
don't
a
have-
couple different.
Free food?
Okay.
Yeah, tell Chris to bake us some brownie, like the old days.
Yeah, but I just thought if we could have a work session, we can go through all those, kind of go through the forms and see if we have any questions and work on the
I mean,
RV thing.
here's what would help me, and I think it would probably help everyone else stay more focused. In your time in this seat that you're in, and the other seat that you were in, even prior to that, what are all the collective problems with campers?
What or what?
Define it, all the collective problems in her time that she's seen with campers.
Right.
Like, write the problems down. So if they are in fact problems we want to solve, we have it written down in front of us, we know, we say we know them, but unless you've got it defined and written down, it's hard to stay on. So that we're diving off into 100-foot, 25-foot generators, noise, like, we won't be very focused if we don't have the problem. And we shouldn't be adding further comments, restrictions, laws, and ordinances if there's no problem. So let's define the problem. I'm not saying there is or isn't a problem. You gotta write the problem down.
But we should have guidelines, and we don't.
We gotta know what we're solving for.
I hate to make laws pointlessly though. So I like what Kyle's saying. We need the problem, right?
Right, it makes it easier to figure out the guidelines.
Ordinances to follow and curb those issues.
I can tell you, I pulled back to look at a property this week that was for sale out on the east side of the county. I turned down the lane and there were literally, I stopped counting at 75 box trucks, trailers, and campers on this one property. And then you drive past that and you turn into the driveway and the neighbor on the other side had like 6 semi-trailers that were empty, that weeds grown up around. And the house that was there was a pretty house, but there's no freaking way. Like, I mean, it scared me to drive through there. Like, I was waiting to hear the banjo music, you know what I mean? It was not great. So I see the point in some type of standard, but like I said, I'd like to know the problem we're solving for.
Okay? So she's gonna see what she can document to help us work through this process.
I mean, we know yours, right? But there's others. And I don't want to tailor an entire change just to this one instance. in my mind.
No.
Because your neighbor may or may not be the problem, not the fact he's in a camper. I don't know.
And that seems pretty.
So it's just a work session.
Right,
Just a work session?
next month.
So I'll make a motion to,
Do we have to do, do you have to do any, or I guess we would just have the meeting, but it would just be like open and shut.
Yeah, work session.
You guys wanna do that at 6 o'clock? Do you wanna do it earlier?
Any input?
I mean, it's still a public meeting, but
let's keep it at 6 so Dave can be here.
Yeah,
I could barely make it a 6:15.
yes, that's. And we plan on doing it for an hour. Not 2.
1 hour.
There's too many 2-hour meetings. You guys.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. Thank you so very much. Shut up your microphones, turn on your papers.
Who seconded that?
I did not like that subdivision issue.